Hello and a very warm welcome. Thank you for staying with CNN News 18. I'm Shen Elizabeth Matthew. Let's begin this bulletin with some international news that is coming at this point. Ahead of Israel-Hamas ceasefire, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's big warning to Hamas. He said that a ceasefire in Gaza scheduled to begin would not commence unless Hamas provided a list of hostages to be released, with the militant group saying that the delay was due to technical reasons. Now, this comes after Hamas misses the deadline to provide hostage list. All right, so the much, awaited ceasefire that is supposed to take place between Israel and Hamas, it seems there is now a bit of delay in this. A big warning has in fact come from Israel that as far as the ceasefire is concerned, they are not going to continue it until and unless the Hamas outfit releases the name of the people who they have in hostage. The name of the list needs to be provided is what the stand that has been now taken by the Israel at this point. I'm now joined by CNN News 18 Siddhant Mishra. Siddhant, over to you. Is Hamas really committed towards this ceasefire? Because there seems to be a delay from their part.
Well, that's what Israel is saying. In fact, Sharon, from last 2 to 3 days, I am in touch with people in Tel Aviv handling this entire project. In fact, they have to say, they have also been blaming Hamas for the delay. They say, because if we go back, Sharon, a little bit, then this particular proposal of the hostage release in exchange for the Palestinian prisoners was perhaps put forth for the first time by the Biden administration 8 months back. And it took almost 8 months' time for both the sides to come onto the table to discuss ceasefire. So when I asked this to the Israeli diplomats, they tell me that it was the delay from the Hamas side, not from the Israeli side. But also, Sharon, one cannot ignore that the window in which US was into the elections, Israel used it in best of its capacities to perhaps secure its own national security interests in the region by killing the senior leadership of the proxies of Iran, perhaps breaking the backbone of Iranian security framework in the region. Now we are getting to know that ceasefire deal has been approved by the Israeli war cabinet. But again, then there is a statement which is coming from Prime Minister Netanyahu, where he is blaming Hamas for the delay. In fact, he is very much talking about the hostage release, but he's also saying that the government of Israel has not received the list of the hostages that Hamas will be releasing. Point number one that he made. Point number two, he has to say that this ceasefire is temporary. So Israel reserves the right to defend its territory in future. Point number three is that the second phase, because the ceasefire has been planned in 3 phases, Sharon. Okay. One is the hostage release. Second is how to attain the permanent solution for the ongoing battle, which would start on the 16th day of the deal. And then the third is the reconstruction and rebuilding Gaza. So right now, it's Israel which will be controlling Gaza. It's Israeli security setup which will control Gaza. Perhaps that is something we have on record. Israel is blaming Hamas for the delay. Israel is saying Hamas has not given them the list of hostages yet. Israel says that they reserve the right to defend their territory. Israel also has to say that this solution is temporary. Perhaps it talks about anything can happen in future. So this particular arrangement is not permanent. This perhaps has been done under the pressure, obviously, from the Trump administration and the Biden administration, since both of these teams were involved to get to broker deal between Hamas and Israel. So it would really be interesting to see that how Israel will react to it, or perhaps whether we could expect the ceasefire to be permanent or it would be a temporary arrangement. That would really be interesting to see. But for now, the Israeli cabinet has approved the proposal, and we could expect the hostage swap in some time from now.
Also, Siddhant, was there a list of hostages that was in fact shared by Israeli side? Is that why they have in fact been saying that until and unless a list is not provided from Hamas side, they are not going to proceed or continue with the ceasefire?
Well, that's right. But Israeli side, so when I was speaking to them, Sharon, maybe in August or September, they used to tell me that the hostage release should be unconditional. Okay. So initially, Israel was not ready to release the Palestinian prisoners in their custody. But now they have come to the terms and they have agreed to release the Palestinian prisoners in exchange for the 33 Israeli hostages, which are still in Hamas's captivity. Also, Israel has to say that as far as the third phase of this entire deal is concerned, which is the reconstruction of Gaza, then Israel's plan is to link reconstruction of Gaza with the de-radicalization in Gaza.
Okay.
Because Israel has to say that they don't want the another generation in Gaza come up with the anti-Israel mindset. So the contributions that Israel will make will also perhaps be in the direction of the de-radicalization of the people living in Gaza. Yes, there are provisions of the Israeli forces to withdraw from the densely populated areas of Gaza. Displaced Palestinians will be allowed to begin returning to their homes, but the overall security control would be commanded by Israel, and there is going to be the transition. That's what Israeli diplomats are telling me, from the military solution to the permanent political solution. But when, how, and in what format that would take place is something which both sides still need to perhaps design or decide a framework for that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Siddhant, for getting us all those updates. We'll keep coming back to you as and when we'll see that whether this deal that has been struck between Israel and Hamas will actually continue or not.